this is a further episode on the creation of the Waterloo goods depot in Liverpool, which was off to one side to the east of the Liverpool Overhead Railway. And this is where I left the project after about 40 minutes of just beginning the wall and bringing in the textures. And I wanted to sort this out first because this is a rather crucial aspect of the overall look of the depot, and I'm going to use this wall, this arrangement throughout the depot. Now what I have done since the last one, which I recorded just a few hours ago, is I've improved the texture here, this texture, the pillar brickwork texture. In fact, I've boosted it from being quite a low res to a higher res. Now this may mean when I come to actually output the model that I do reduce the definition of each of these textures, but I'll reduce them uniformly. And for this little contribution towards it, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do the stone piece, which it runs along the bottom here, and you'll see I've got some splines already down here. So I'm going to go into the side view, so I'm going to look along the side. What I'm going to try and create, let's have a look at our wall example again, is this here. And I think I've got a vertical, and then I've got a concave section there, then I've got a vertical, and I've got a convex section there, and then I've got a small flat piece. But at each side of those there is a small squared off piece just to give it definition. And I'm not going to be able to reproduce all this variety. That would make an incredibly large texture. So I'm just going to go with what I can. So this is where I've sketched in so far, and just to try and get it a bit organized. So first of all, what I'm going to do, this is going to give me my convex shape. So this shape here is going to reflect this convex shape there, and then there's going to be, well, let's see, let's just get on and do it. So turn it into an editable spline and look at the segments, and I'm going to take away 3 of those segments because I want the concave, and I know it's called concave because it's like it's going in, so it's a cave. You know, O-level geography, in the days when it was called O-level. Right, and this box is going to give me a little bit of squared off piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm just basically just guessing. So convert that to editable spline. I'm going to take away a couple of segments of that, there and there, and then I'm going to alter the vertices. Now what's going to happen is when I get this right, or at least when I get it looking like it's right, it's probably a more accurate description of how I'm making these things, then I'm going to weld all these together, and hopefully it's going to give me something like the look of that stone piece. And I'm not too worried, I'm not being super fussy about the actual sizes there, because it's the overall look. So that's that little piece there from that box. And then I've got another circle here, so let's move that over. That needs to come over and down. That's going to be that bit, and again I'm going to lose 3 segments of that. Let's just have a look at the wall again just to remind ourselves. See, that's curving up, that's the convex curve, and then there's a flat bit on the top. You can see it more clearly there. I'm perhaps still a little bit too short here, but let's just have a go at this editable spline. I don't need these segments of it, so I can lose those. And then this box square again is going to come along and is going to go up a bit, and I'll pick those 2 up, move it there. That's that piece I was looking at. I'm still going to alter this. I'm not finished with it yet. Here's another box, another rectangle rather. Turn it into a spline segment. I need that one out and that one out. I want to keep the bottom one because I'm going to need that in order to create a closed that's obviously meant to be 10 inches a closed area. So this one, let's just finish these off. It's going to give me a spline, and for that I'm going to need that segment out only because I'm going to use that to connect down here, as you'll see in a minute. And the vertex here, just going to, well, first of all I'm going to pick up the Y, just the Y, and take that down and then move the whole thing on the Y axis up. Let's zoom in, have a look. And just need to move it over a bit there. Let's just get that vertex. That vertex is, it's extending down there because I've got to move this handler back. There we are. Okay, well really what I want, looking at our example, this really needs to be up here. This is the edge of the inner brickwork. It will become clear. So, oops, wrong way. Never goes the way you want. So I'm going to put that up there because what I'm going to do is I'm going to link these together, and then those vertices I want to, well, that one I can weld, but then these two, this one and this one, and I want to move it up to there. So I'll take it up like that and then move it over a tad. It might offer to fuse them. Yes, there we are, to weld them together. So that gives me that little step, actually a slight angle there that's crept in because my original alignment wasn't very accurate, so I'm going to try and move that down just a fraction. No, I've got too many here. Picked up too much. It's this one only that I want to move. So make that straight. This might seem, you know, over fussy, but I think it's important to try and get some sort of relationship to the original, and I'm going to alter this in proportion, and I want to keep those curves, but I'm just going to make them a bit bigger. Okay, make it a much more noticeable feature, but I want to keep a bit of room between there and there. So I think we're okay with that. Let me just bring that up and bring it over and then up. There we are. And then this one, it's obviously still shy of that position, so I'm going to bring that forward and then move along and picking up the vertex, drop that down to that height. You see that I'm still a little bit out, so I'm just going to zoom in, pick this one up, drag it along to that position, and I should do it when I join it together. So it's going to give me that little bit of a lip at the top here, just a little bit. That's all we want, just a smidgen, just a suggestion. Okay, so now I can join that to this, and I need to weld, oops, that's still attaching, need to weld that one in, and then I can attach it to this one, and I can weld those vertices together. So I'm going to bring these back into here, which, just to get the exact position, should be 0. And there. And this one as well. And then bring this down. Yes, you can weld. There we are. And now we've got the outline, the profile of that bit of stonework. And I shall now extrude that, and hopefully, let's just extrude it 10 for the moment. Yes, it looks like it's going to extrude okay. Sometimes you do get some strange effects. What I might do is pull this face in a bit so it doesn't sit alongside or in the same position as this. This one. Let's just bring that along for the moment, and let's apply the stonework to it. And heavily pixelated, so that's no good. And if we have a look here, oh dear, it's all over the place. So I'm going to go into wireframe because I want to pick up these faces, all these front faces. So first of all, I'm going to select all of them. That's no good. There we are. And then rather than trying to pick out all those little ones on the curves, I can... No, I can't. Which is the one I want? I think it's this one. There we are, minus. That's the wrong one again. Let's try and not pick up the end one. Right, well I'm not happy with that, so what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to clone it so I've got the shape saved. I'm not worrying about the size of these meshes at the moment, and I'm going to delete some polys. Let's see what we can do. I've got to select the right thing, I suppose. That's the one I want to work on, isn't it? Not this one over here, so let's lose that, and I take away the bottom of it and the back. Yes, we don't want any isolated vertices, thank you. And this other end, delete. Yes, okay. So now when I pick up all the faces there, it's just going to be those. Because I've got 2 copies, if I'd wanted to restore 1 or 2 of those faces, I could just bring them from there and weld them onto that. Let's go back and see what it looks like. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Select face. So now I can just select all the faces. I know I'm just looking at the front there. There we are. And those are the ones I've selected. I'm not sure what those are. Those sort of errant points. And first of all, planar map it, and clearly it's not right, so let's have a go. Let's go this way first, 90 degrees that way, see if that makes any difference. Nope. Look there. It's still heavily pixelated, so that's no good. And I don't think that's even the... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the stonework. Let's find the stonework. There it is. Right, and what I'm going to do is select it all. Actually, I think I can just do it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to soften it. Maybe soften it more. Let's try that. Stonework TGA. I'm going to leave that there because I can undo it, and let's just close that. Reload this. There we are, it's beginning to look better. All that sort of pixelation has been, I mean, it's still there more or less, but it's less than it was. If I come back here, you normally get all sorts of wacky effects if you do this, but I think I'll be alright. And go back up to here, and then center, and move it. It should be, the centering is over there, so I think move it back to 0. Yep. Okay, so that's going to give us something like the stonework. It's certainly going to be adequate, I think. So all I need to do now is I'm going to pull this, actually I'm going to pull the whole thing in a bit. So yeah, I'm going to bury this face behind this face so that it isn't affected by the brick. Let's have a quick look at that. There we are, look. And that means I can then get away with, that's the wrong one, I think I must have closed the other one, but anyway, with regard to the wall, I think I can then get away with that. So there we are. So that's how I go about making these rather difficult, sort of complicated sort of mouldings. Now what else does it mean I can do? Well, I can go in at this stage and make a few alterations, deletions from all these pieces. First of all, what I need to do here on this piece, if I hide, I think I've still got stuff, yes, I've still got stuff hidden away, but on this one what I'll do, I'll just hide the stonework. Here I need to do something to regularize, so let's planar that, and it's got to come, the lower ones have got to come up like that, and these have got to come down to there, and then I'm going to bring these ones, what I'm using is I'm turning on and off the, whether I'm dealing with all of the faces. If I turn that on, that's all of the faces of that brickwork, or just the one that I'm working on. So now if I come around to this face here, and I planar map it, really important, so important. And what I can do here is I can just pick that side up, and all I'm going to do is going to bring it into this one here to make the other end the same by lining those up with the previous ones. You know. There we are, and that's what gives me those two ends. And actually I don't really need a lot more there. I need the top, I think, or do I? No, I don't need the top because that's concealed by the this piece, what I'm calling the pillar. So if I just collapse all of these down to poly, and I can start deleting faces, polys, to help reduce the overall hit on the graphics. There's no need to keep polys which are completely hidden by other parts of the mesh. None whatsoever. So it's very similar now to that pillar section. Let's just have a quick look here. I think I need to do something on the top of this one. So what I'll do there is What have I got there? How far out does it go? This is the front of that bit of mesh here, and it's going out 7 times. So the piece that's left, the top piece here, I want it to go out 7 times, so let's planar map it. But let's take it down to just, let me see where those bricks are, and if they're off at a 90-degree angle to the others. So first of all, what I need to do is to pull that around, and then I can reduce the overall depth down to just a couple of bricks. So if we zoom in, let's bring it down just to a couple of these bricks there, and the bottom, just need to bring that up because there's part of a brick showing at the bottom, and I think we'll be alright there. Let's try that with 7. No, it's not right, is it? No, I've got that wrong. So let's planar map it again, and let's try it. Do I might need to rotate it. I don't think this is right at all. Let's try that. No, it's obviously not right. Okay, let's do that 90 degrees. Bring this down, and this piece up, and then stretch this out. I think I'm doing the same thing I did before. Yeah. So what is the problem there? Let's have another look here, make sure that is okay there. So why is that proving to be such an issue? I can't really see how it's the overall width. I know what it is, because this is wide. It's hidden by this bit of wall here. So what I'll do is I'll pick up these upper ones. No, I just need the upper ones. Take that back to 1, and then zoom in. I think it's important to do brickwork as well as you can. Roofing is always a bit awkward. Let's try that with 7. Yeah, well, it's better, but it's not right. I think I need 6 bricks. I need 4 candles. They're too big. Take that up, try 8. Yeah, that's close enough. Most of it's going to be hidden by the stonework piece. But that means that on this particular bit of mesh, so if we had a look at the Polygon Counter, we're up to 211 at the moment. But what I'm going to do now is remove quite a few free polys. So we're down to 205 straight away. Take the ends off, because wherever this is going to be, it's going to butt up against another bit of wall or something. Take the back off, and the base, yes, thank you, we'll have those away, and we'll take that end off, yes. And in fact, what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to deal with this piece. I'm going to take a clone of that, and on this one, collapse the box down to poly. In fact, the only poly I want is that one at the front. And if I invert the selection and then press delete, I'm just left with that front face. Now obviously I want something inside the warehouse, the depot. So for that one, what I'm going to do is this clone, and drop the base here and I'm going to alter the internal face. So at the moment it's from 0.067. well, I'm going to take that down to 0. That was the 0.067 was to line it up on the outside, and that was 1.567. I think I can guess it's got another 4'6", so I'm going to guess about 75. And if I just close that down, delete, collapse the whole thing down, select the interior poly, invert that selection, delete everything else, and then just to make sure it's going to be okay, I'll spin it round. We have a look at it. No, I can't pick it up when it's only, it's one of those strange things in a 3D universe, it's one dimension. Which I guess is a bit better than the usual 2.5 dimensions of trains. Let's just move that over a bit. Let's have a look at it here. Let's make sure we've got the texture correction turned on so that we're actually looking at the texture correctly, and see how the bricks marry up. Not bad. Good enough. That's fine. Remember, that would be an outer skin of brick. This would be an inner skin of brick. So it wouldn't be the same bricks we're looking at inside the real depot anyway. So I can spin that back round 180 degrees. Notice I've got the 5-degree increment angle snap toggle on, and let's just position it back on the 0 there, and we'll bring it in so that it is, let's just center the object, because we've only got one face left now, the center is different, has changed. And just bring the whole thing in. And there we are. So that's going to be the interior wall of the depot, the goods depot. That's the exterior wall. And I've got it down to 191. Well, let's see what else we can do. Let's see if there's anything here. This one, we can collapse that mesh down. 170, that one's a spare, which I don't think we're going to need, but anyway, let's unhide everything. Well, we'll hide that again. And this one here, 38, not too bad. It's showing there, at a distance it shows it crushing in on that, showing through that brickwork, but I don't think it will in actuality. Don't think there's anything else I can lose there in the way of the fact that those are punching through there. Doesn't matter at all, as long as it's there, not punching through this skin of brick here. So that's 174, 80. It's going to be under 100. It's going to be 96, 94. Probably I didn't know that. 94. And what have we got there? What's that? Something odd. Right, there you are. We've just gone down to an odd bit of a rectangle that I didn't need, a spline rectangle. So there we are. That's going to form the side walls, and we're going to have a lot of these, a lot of this. I'm going to extend this a lot. These here, stonework, won't require any more texture mapping. So I can extend that to any length I like, and it'll just be, because it's already repeating quite a lot of times. This one I will need to, when I increase the length of this wall to the full length of the depot, it will require these to be extended, and the same here. But for these, the pillar sections, those are just going to be repeated all the way along. So there we are. That's the end of this examination or work on the depot wall so far. My next installment will be about blocking in the roofs first of all, and I'm going to be working from this aerial photograph to try and get the proportions of all these roofs right and the lengths of them as they come back round here, because as you'll recall, the map, not sure which way, if I've got the map handy, there it is. This is the boundary of the goods depot, so therefore those shortened roof sections can all go like this, and we'll get there. Okay, so that's the end of this. If you have any questions, queries or comments, please do post them. If you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe to my website, and watch out for the fourth part of this series of videos on how I make Waterloo Goods Depot in Liverpool.